I guess it's more mental than physical. It just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, no, you just swam for hours, you biked up mountains, and you're running up a mountain to the end. It's over 12, 15 hours. It's physical. Mental. Mental is when I have to sit and study for Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. This is physical. Coach Greg, in today's video, Magnus Midtbø, he takes on his world's greatest challenge to date. It seems every couple weeks he's taking on greater and greater challenges, and this time he really outdid himself. And so he completes what it says is the hardest race on the planet. Now, I do believe they mean the greatest Ironman challenge on the planet, as of course there are more difficult races than this, but listen to what they have to do.
They call it the world's most extreme triathlon. The Norsemen. Almost 4 kilometers of freezing water, 180 kilometers of brutal mountain roads, and then a full marathon straight up a mountain.
Immediately, no. You lost me at 3.8 kilometers of freezing water. I can't even get in water if it isn't heated in a pool, let alone swim 3.8 kilometers in 14-degree water. I used to do triathlons, and I once swam in 14-degree water. It was a nightmare. Mine was 1.5 kilometers, and it took me 25 minutes. This guy is going to swim 3.8, bike 180K, and run a marathon, and he trained for 2 weeks. I was training for 10 years.
Most people train for years. I've never done a triathlon. I'm not a cyclist, I'm not a strong swimmer, and I'm completely out of running shape. And yet, with just 14 days of training, I'll be standing on that ferry.
And so imagine what he could do if he trained for an entire year, or heavens forbid, if we gave him 16 months, bro would perhaps be a champion.
Today is July 15th. Means that I have 2 weeks plus a couple of rest days.
I like how it's 2 weeks plus a couple rest days, and so 16 days.
You know the difference between the black finisher t-shirt and the white finisher t-shirt?
Yeah, there's something about the black. If you get the black shirt, you finish on the mountain, and if the white, you finish on the flat, right?
Yeah. So the 161st people to reach a certain cutoff point in the run course, they finish at the mountaintop.
And so the first 161 finishers, they get a black t-shirt. It's basically saying you're the best of the best. Over 6,000 people apply to do this race, and they've almost all been training for years. Bro's a mountain climber. He has great grip strength. He sets records. He's very strong, but he doesn't swim, he doesn't bike, and he certainly doesn't run. And so the coach is saying, look, we'll try to get it finished. We'll try to get you a white t-shirt. I mean, you have to have realistic goals and expectations.
I actually used to take my bike from school and to my house every day in the summer. So I've done a lot of biking as a kid, but this is just like totally different.
And so no big deal. He used to ride his bike as a kid on his way to school. He's now 36 years of age.
I had no technique at all. I was not floating in the water. I was working against it.
He barely knows how to swim. He's swimming improperly, and they only have 2 weeks to train properly.
We're at 104 kilometers. So we still have another 40 to go or something.
And so first bike training session, let's go ride 144 kilometers. Let's ride for about 5 hours. No big deal.
I think this was a perfect experience for you today.
Yeah, but now I'm just gonna go straight into the run.
Run, Forrest, run.
It's a very weird sensation to run right now.
And so he jumps off the bike, starts to go for a run. This is the first time he's doing this, and I'm sure you understand just how difficult this really is. It's not only difficult on your body, you have to consume enough calories. If you're not eating and or drinking, you're going to hit the wall. You won't be able to finish the race.
So I actually can't remember the last time I was this nervous. I must have had like 190 heart rate when jumping off that ship. The water was so cold and there were so many people swimming around and we hadn't even started yet.
Well, I can't imagine. Like, I've done these triathlons and the water's so cold. Like 14 degrees, they made us get out there in the ocean and I'm standing there up to my waist and I'm waiting for 5 minutes before they say go. And I'm thinking, just say go. I'm literally freezing. I'm shaking in my little Speedo. Imagine you're sitting there threading water for 30 minutes. You have to swim 400 meters to get to the start line. and they haven't even said go yet.
After a while, I managed to like slow my breathing and just focus on the technique.
Guys, I was on a swim team for multiple years, and he swims faster than I could at my best. And so all I can think is, hey, it comes down to your genetics.
And it was so beautiful, even though I had my face down in the water and couldn't really see much.
And the swimming, it's bad. I have like 150 swimmers, and they're all like kicking your face and your goggles, and you're like busting up your nose. You're getting nosebleeds swimming. It is a lot harder than you think.
My coach had told me like a million times, don't swim too fast, because the minutes you save on the swimming, you're just gonna lose on the cycling anyways.
This guy's swimming is so amazing. It's like an hour and 18 minutes for 3.8 kilometers. Reminds me of a guy, Chris McKenzie. We were younger. He was doing triathlons, and I was on a swim team. Bro was not. He goes to the triathlon, and he beats everyone. And I'm like, what did you even do? He's like, well, I used to swim around when I was a kid, you know, at the lake and so on. And I did practice for a couple months in the lake water. And I'm thinking, I've been swimming for years. You beat me as well as all my swim team by just training a couple months in a lake on your own. How is this possible? But yet it is. It's genetics. And to this day, he's close to 6 years of age. He's still doing triathlons. He's still swimming. He's still biking. He's still running. He's still in fantastic shape. And so some people, they just have the genetics. Magnus, he has it in spades. I don't know what kind of athlete is, certainly less than 1 in a million. But remember, if you're trying to be the best athlete that you can, in particular, if you want to do improved cardio, GO2 Max is going to help you for certain, as well as Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. These will help you to recover faster, build more muscle, and have more energy to swim, bike, run, lift weights harder than last time. Code Greg, 15% off. And when I did my first triathlon, I literally was last by 5 minutes. There were 82 people. I was 82nd place, last by 5 minutes. I would swim a lot, and I still got last place. These people are trained athletes. They've been doing this for years. Bro swam in a pool for a couple weeks, in the lake a couple times, and is 132nd place. There are thousands of people in the race. It doesn't make sense how fast this guy is. Bro is the next Lance Armstrong. I mean, if he hadn't been a world champion mountain climber, perhaps he'd be a world champion powerlifter, arm wrestler, triathlete, swimmer, biker. What can he not do?
1 hour and 17 minutes was just insane. I couldn't believe it. But that also made me a little bit worried that I'd swum too fast. The plan was to take it a bit more easy so that my legs wouldn't be completely wasted for the biking.
And so I'm getting all worked up. I got to take off my momentous clothing hoodie. Getting hotter than last time. Bro is now in 107th place. He's on the bike. He's passing other bikers.
It's about 7 kilometers of 10-11% incline, and when he gets to the top here, that's the last place we can support him.
7 kilometers of 10 or 11% incline. It's like biking through the Tour de France. This is a major mountain. Many of you watching this, if you just had to ride up that hill alone, almost all of you would have to walk up the hill. He swam for over an hour. He's been biking now for 5+ hours, and he's going to now go harder than last time to the top of the hill.
I haven't really trained the running at all. Like, I've trained the transition to running, but the longest I ran for it was like 5K.
And get this, after climbing this mountain, he then has to run 26 miles. And in training, the furthest run he's ever done is 5 kilometers. He has to run over 40.
A lot of people are extremely impressed by 2 weeks of preparations and a swimming part with so good time, and you're placed around 18th, 19th place, I think.
And so imagine what the competitors are thinking. You know, I've been training for 5 years for this moment. I'm going to do this race. And this bro, a mountain climber, shows up with 2 weeks practice, and he's beating almost everyone.
Only worry I have now is getting a flat tire, because there's like 30 kilometers until I can get help. So if I get a flat tire here, I have to change it on my own, and I've never changed a bike tire before.
I once did a half Ironman. During the bike portion, I got a flat tire. It took me over 5 minutes to change. Seeing guys fly by you on the bike as you're there helpless, it's not a great feeling. It's not as bad as when I once did a bike race. I'm on a breakaway and there's no one at the road to signal the turn. And so I don't turn, I keep going. And then I look back and everyone behind me is turning. And so I'm on a breakaway for nothing. I'm in the lead, I'm winning the race, and they didn't tell me to turn. I turn around, go and catch back up. It's very difficult to race when you don't have very good sense of directions.
And he actually passed a few guys in the run as well, so now he's 74, I think. He's doing way better than I thought.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. He's doing way better than I thought. He's in 74th place. This guy's like, there's no way you can get a black shirt. You realize only the top 161 people get it? I do believe that for somehow that represents 100 miles, 161 kilometers. I can't understand why it would be 161. Did they only have 161 black shirts? Could they have ordered more?
I guess it's more mental than physical. It just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, no. It's physical more than mental. Think of it. You just swam for hours. You biked up mountains and you're running up a mountain to the end. It's over 12, 15 hours. It's physical. Mental. Oh, it's more mental. Mental is when I have to sit and study for Spanish. This is physical.
But then I could see it, the cutoff point, where I would get my black shirt.
69? Oh, 69?
Yeah.
That's a funny number, but freaking hell, that's so much better than I thought I would do.
69th place, 13 hours and 37 minutes. Just think of how fast that is. Up mountains. It's fast.
Even though it's only been 2 weeks, I feel like I worked really hard. Like I've trained 4 or 5 hours every single day.
It's like, yeah, he did train really hard, but it was 2 weeks though. Like other people did the same thing for 4 years. I trained really hard for this, all came to fruition. It was 2 weeks. If I trained 4 hours a day to learn Spanish, and in 2 weeks I was fluent in Spanish in 2 weeks, and the other person that's talking to me is like, yeah, I studied for like 8 years to be where you're at. It's like, I get it, you trained hard, but not as hard as everyone else. I feel like every other person in this race, especially the ones that beat him, trained harder than last time. And so for all of you, I would recommend use harder than last time supplements, to try and beat Magnus next year.
It's been so nice to have a goal to work towards. It's honestly it's gonna feel empty now going back to not having this as like a goal.
It's the same thing applies to almost anything in life. When you have a dedication to a certain goal, you put everything into it. Bodybuilding was no different. For 3, perhaps 4 months, all you can think of is stepping up on that stage. You diet, you're doing cardio, perhaps training 3 hours a day, including cardio and training. Every meal that you eat is centered around dieting to get yourself shredded, the posing, the tanning, everything. And then suddenly, it's over. You wake up and you're thinking, now what? You have almost like some brain fog. I know Will Tennyson, he dieted for 200 days to do his competition, in which he won. But then what do you do after that? And so Magnus is thinking, well, what next? What now? And so for many people doing sports such as this, it gives them purpose. Nothing worse in this world, in my opinion, well, maybe there are, but I'm thinking it's got to be one of the top on the list, is not having any purpose in life. You get up and you're like, now what? I don't want to get up. What for? If you have a reason, a purpose to get up every morning, life is so much better. It's worth living. And so for me right now, perhaps it's cycling, recording videos, hanging out with friends, whatever. Previous to this, it was obviously bodybuilding, and previous to that, powerlifting, as well as doing triathlons. But you need to have something. If you don't have anything to look forward to, it's not as fun to be on this earth. My recommendation, find that thing, find that purpose, find your why, whatever that may be. And I hope it involves movement, being physically active. Remember, 150 minutes of cardio a week, perhaps lifting weights once or twice a week. Just do something in order to be healthy.
Ceremony just now was also really cool. And now that I'm doing these challenges, if there are any other challenges you want me to attempt, please comment below.
Yes! I got a challenge. I can think of a ton, but the first ton that's coming to my mind is Bigfoot The one that David Goggins did a couple weeks ago, you got to run 200 miles. 200. 200s. Let's see you do that. That is a challenge that we want to see. I mean, this, you enjoyed it, you had the cardio. And so let's see you train for that. 2 weeks, perhaps, is all you need. Up till that day, he ran 5 kilometers. He then ran over 40. And so I think he could do it. I actually think with proper training, perhaps 16 months, that he would actually beat David Goggins. And I do think he'd beat him by a lot. He's only 36 years of age. He has the genetics for this. And so if he wants to do it, I think he could run faster than last time. Interested in getting your blood work done, perhaps Cialis, Viagra. Remember, you want to please your woman, your wife, girlfriend, and so on. There's things you can do. Do you need enclomiphene? Do you need tadalafil? Protect your heart. If you don't care about it for yourself, do it for your loved ones, your friends, your family, your kids. Oftentimes, people neglect their own health and they forget about what they're going to do to other people. If your health suffers, you're going to hurt others. Maybe you don't care if you're here or not, but remember, just because you get a heart attack and so on, if you live, other people are going to have to help you. And so please don't burden them as much and try to be as healthy as possible. If you're interested in AlgoRx, they will also get your blood work done. And so please click the link in the description. They have very cheap and affordable prices, much cheaper than, for example, Merrick Health. GLP Max. Everyone's talking about Ozempic and retatrutide and tirzepatide. And trust me, this stuff is very, very expensive. This is very, very cheap. It's not going to work quite as well, but it is going to work about 28% less hungry. Makes a big difference. You go from an 8 out of 10 hunger to a 6. And so if you want to get hotter for your wife or hotter for your husband, some of you ladies are watching this. Your hubby doesn't want you to be 400 pounds. Trust me, he does not. Well, there's perhaps 1% of people out there that like it, the chubby chasers and whoever. But for the rest of us, normal peoples, the normies, we don't like grossly overweight people. We prefer them to be leaner than last time. And it's not just the aesthetics, it's the fact that you die older.
What?
You live longer. You don't cost the medical system billions and billions of dollars because of gluttony from not eating ever healthy nor doing any cardio. And yeah, we can blame it on fast food and we can blame it on them and we can blame it on the rain. But it's actually your fault in the end. You decide what goes into your stomach. And so if you decide to put this into your stomach, you will be less hungry and you'll have less cravings and you'll eat less food. Hence, you'll lose weight. Makes sense. Code Greg for 15% off. And until next time, I am out.